We're hearing reports from all over the world of Tesla demand is lacking. It's slacking off. It's having a hard time. Is it all true? Is it too soon to say? Or is it something else entirely? Is this the beginning of the middle of the end? That's what we're going to find out. I've got Randy Kirk here from the Randy Kirk channel, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, among other things. I think he also eats cereal, but I won't go any farther than that because this isn't a true crime podcast yet. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So, Randy, you've heard the terrible, terrible news. Elon Musk increases Cybertruck discounts by 3 times. So it's a 300% increase over 2000. I mean, that's little dramatic headline, but this says Tesla's offering discounts of up to 6,000. First of all, do you think that's true?
Well, okay, we're talking about Cybertruck here. I haven't read this particular article, but I'm going to take a guess. And Brian, you know, I don't like to guess, but I'm going to guess that this has to do with the $80,000 model. Mm-hmm. I'm going to further guess that it's the 74 manufacturing of the Cybertruck, and the 74 version did not have access to the $7,500 discount offered by the government. Mm-hmm. And I think that
the Tesla 24 version, you mean?
Did I say 24? What did I say?
You said 74.
Well, you know, this is an age issue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still
what living. You wouldn't give to be 74.
74. And I remember 74. So anyway, yes, then the 24 version did not qualify for the $7,500 discount. They had a few thousand of those left over of the $80,000 version, and so they are discounting those while they're at the same time selling the 25 version, which does get the $7,500 discount.
Okay, so that would be interesting. Now, this article might be a little out of date. It says it's February 12th, but it's saying that the 6,000 is on Foundation series and 5,100 on non-Foundation series. Those could still be 2024s. Yeah. So I went ahead and looked at the vehicles in inventory. Here's one for $66,990 after the $7,500 credit. So that is a very small-ish discount. Yeah. But I mean, that is still a meaningful discount. Yeah. Are we worried? Are we seeing a lack of demand? Why aren't these flying out the door?
Well, quite frankly, I've been saying for a very long time that I think that it's really not a lack of demand. It's a lack of demand at a price. So, you know, I could, these shirts are readily available, you know, for $29, you know, but if I was selling them for $100, I might not get that many takers, even though it was hand signed.
That's a great comparison. The world thanks you. And if the shirts were free, the demand would still be finite, I assure you. So you're saying price matters.
Oh, yeah, price. Well, yeah.
Because we got this op-ed here from the New York Post. Pull the plug on EV subsidies, a government racket that dooms the auto industry, where this author, who is this? David Harsanyi, explains that because of their modern designs, we might be led to believe that the electric cars are technological marvels, but in fact, most of the purported conveniences and innovations are already available in most standard gas-powered cars at a far cheaper price. EVs are, at best, a lateral technology for most consumers, if you never plan on driving in the cold or long distances, that is, and then they're worse. So, yeah. And then, of course, we've got this in no way slanted one. What do you think the results are? Because I'm going to vote. Practical, dangerous, I'm going to say practical, and let's see what the result. Oh, look at that. Dangerous and overpriced. So yeah, very, very dumb. Now, I don't know who this guy is, but if you had to guess, who is this? What kind of author is this?
Well, you know, he could be either a traditional auto writer, or he could be just somebody who is a freelancer who kind of likes to work in the auto space from time to time. That would be my guess.
What would you imagine the politics of this person to be?
Oh, this person would probably be left of center.
Okay,
A
well,
year
that's
ago, a year ago, they would have been right of center.
okay. David Harsanyi has written for things like Blaze Media and was the press secretary for the Republican Jewish Coalition. If you look, Wall Street Journal, National Review, Weekly Standard. No, this is not a left of center individual. You could be more to the right, but not by much.
So he's still singing out of the old hymn book. He hasn't he hasn't been moved over to the other side yet. And but in the meantime, we've talked about this. We've got the politics is impacting business, but it could be impacting it both ways. So you just don't know.
Mm.
In fact, I did a whole story on that on Monday morning, Brian. I don't know when this is out, but on Monday morning, I did a very deep dive into the politics, and there's articles and polls all over the place. It looks like, at least in the United States, it's probably about a nothing burger.
Well, do you know that? So if cost is affecting it, should we be concerned when we see things like a proposal to put $1,000 tax on electric vehicles?
Yeah, I'm okay. This is something which is going to happen. I mean, it's already happening. The states are already doing it. I forget how many states. I want to say it's on the order of 14.
Half-ish. It's a lot.
It's half-ish now. Okay. Well, look, you got to pay for the roads. Okay. You got your taxes have to come from somewhere in order to support what government is doing, like building roads or fixing roads. So if you're not going to get it from the gasoline, which is how they've been doing it, you've got to get it from somewhere. And so, yeah, I can't argue with the fact that electric cars should have to pay their fair share of road repair.
Does $1,000 seem like the amount of tax that you would spend per year on the federal portion of the gas tax?
Yeah, I have not done the math, so I just don't know.
Okay. Now, do you think this will impact adoption, EV adoption? If the end price, if the total cost of ownership is increased by $1,000 a year, or over 10 years, $10,000.
Is it $1,000 a year?
Oh, is it $1,000 flat?
$1,000 for the purchase price, I think.
Okay, let's see. On the cost of a new car, let's see.
Yeah, I think it's $1,000 on the purchase.
Okay.
Be like a federal sales tax.
At time of purchase.
Yeah.
Would be charged a one-time $1,000 fee.
Right.
So, do you think that increasing the purchase price of an EV by $1,000 would help sales, hurt sales, or make no difference?
So marginal price increases or decreases always have an impact. Sometimes on specialty items and perfumes and things, it helps the sales if you raise the price. But overall, I would expect it to have a minimal impact in terms of a negative.
Okay. What if we, at the same time, go ahead and get rid of the $7,500 credit, which is something they also wish to do?
Yeah, there's no question in my mind that if you take away the $7,500 credit, fewer people are going to be interested in buying a Tesla or any EV that might have had the $7,500 credit in the past. And Elon has said that he's perfectly happy with that. Take it away; it's all good. That Tesla has advantages in terms of their cost of production that will mean that this will hurt Tesla less, or over time will be to Tesla's advantage. I think the short term it could have a problem, but the good news is that about the time it's going to hit is about the same time when FSD is going to be unlocked or unsupervised, and so that will dramatically increase the desire. Oh, and adding the voice to Tesla, to the Tesla car through Grok. I think people are going to be surprised at how many people want the car just so they can talk to it.
It depends on the voice, I suppose. I assume that it's going to be mine, but I don't know. That would definitely not be weird at all. We do know that, yeah, increasing the price by $8,500 would have a huge detriment to adoption overall. And what Elon said was not get rid of my subsidies, get rid of EV subsidies. He said, if you get rid of EV subsidies and oil and gas subsidies, then it's a level playing field. And I have not seen any proposals that would adjust in any way the oil and gas subsidies, which I know you say don't exist, even though I've sent you PDFs of tremendous length that demonstrate otherwise. We've also got, unfortunately, the spending freeze on chargers, which is this argues that putting chargers on the roads less traveled, where they would be needed by new folks to adopt, would potentially create stranded assets, um, which I think is also true.
Yeah.
But um, but are they stranded assets in terms of profit or in terms of utilization? Well, you have to build the chargers before people can get to them. I made a comment last week that there are the problem with new people wanting to enter the EV space, who live in districts that historically have been more rural or voted red more often, is that they do not have the chargers. And if you need a charger and you live in a place that doesn't have a charger, and so someone asked me, well, Brian, I'm guessing you must live in a blue place because you have chargers. Well, my county is actually quite red, and we have one Tesla supercharger. And if you go all the way out to the coast, which is an hour from here, there is one more charger, but it's only like down a ways in Oregon. So if you wish to go to like Long Beach, Washington, which is lovely, you're going to need to plan your trip. Even though Washington is quite a blue state, it happens to exist in a red county. There are no chargers in red counties in meaningful numbers to spur adoption, and this is going to just kick it in the sack.
So I have a lot of experience with my clients over the years and with my own companies with deciding on locations.
Mhm.
I've also done a lot of study in the area of finding retail, especially retail locations. This is a science. This is a very sophisticated science, determining traffic patterns and traffic that's moving in that area and the cost comparing the cost of the location to the utilization and what you think you're going to generate out of the location. I mean, it's a massive thing that people like McDonald's spend millions and millions of dollars to decide where their locations are going to be. So to the way that this IRA was set up, well, we have to have this many per mile, blah 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 blah. It's a ridiculous way to do things. You got to have smart professionals make the decision where these things are going to go. Tesla has done it masterfully. I would think that they'd even potentially say, hey, Tesla, even though you're not going to have this particular location, would you please tell us the next 100 locations or the next 1,000 or the next 100,000 locations that would be the best places to put them, because they would have all the data to make some of those considerations. But to just willy-nilly put them up every 50 miles, ridiculous. You're going to have chargers that never get used.
Mm. Well, I can tell you the people cutting them are not employing science either. It is. Do you think that stopping the expansion of the charging network is going to have no impact, some impact? I mean, what's the result of it going to be?
That's one of those ones where it would take some study, because we know that Tesla is putting these up really fast. They're putting them up faster than ever at this point. So they're putting them up, and they're putting them up. Some of the locations have 150, 180, chargers per location. They're putting them up I've been driving the car for a little over 4 years now, and it used to be, it was a little hard to find locations, even in Southern California. Now it's like they're everywhere. So I don't know. I don't know what the right number is. I don't know how fast they need to be expanded over the next few years in order to take advantage of the cars that are going to be coming. But I do think that it needs, again, there are things in business that are not science. There are a lot of places in business where you have to guess. You have to take a risk even though you're just not sure. But in the case of locations, figuring out locations is science. It's really very straightforward science, and I think that's the approach that should be taken.
That was a fantastic soliloquy, and I appreciate it. Will this have a benefit, a detriment, or no effect?
No effect, because the consumer right now isn't saying, are there enough chargers or are there not enough chargers? They've been told by the press that the chargers are lousy and that there's not enough of them, even though you and I both know that with the Tesla charging system, there's enough of them and they're really good.
Mm,
I do believe that the public has been lied to over the last several years, and that has hurt EV sales. I'm
mm.
about 100% sure of this. I'm 99% sure that there are people out there right now that are not buying the vehicles, not just Tesla vehicles, but other EVs because they're afraid that they won't be able to charge them on long trips or even in more local situations. But the issue won't be resolved by just building a bunch that are in the wrong places. The issue can be resolved by building some that are in the right places.
Mm. Well, they're not cost effective to build everywhere, but with the subsidies, the idea is that they would be cost effective to build. And I would say that a lot of people have gross misconceptions because they follow jackasses like David Harsanyi, and they believe things like these, which is dangerous. 35% think a car that's inherently designed for safety, that's 20 times less likely to go up in flames, is dangerous.
I know.
This
Same
is
problem.
this is the stupidity that we deal with. Guys, I wanted to mention, we're not done yet, but I wanted to mention that tomorrow, I believe it's going to be tomorrow, I'm going to be showing a trailer for my play that I'm in coming up. Yes, it has a trailer. I would show it today, but we're going long as it is because this topic is just too hot. And in the comments, I would ask what you guys think of all the things we're discussing. You know what you're doing. My last question for you, Randy, is, do you think that this pile of factors is likely to make car manufacturers less likely to build EVs?
Less likely to build EVs. So,
if a company said, you know what, we're going all EV, and then all this happens, they go, never mind, we're going to do hybrids.
yeah, I think that the car manufacturers are making that decision. Again, what I just said a minute ago, I believe is the most important factor. I think the fact that they did not go out and build their own chargers, and or that the chargers that did get built in the United States were so horrible and so poorly located, killed the business in the United States. In addition to what you and I have talked about many times before, the low gas prices throughout most of the Midwest didn't didn't incentivize people as much as it did on the coasts where the prices are like double what they are in the interior. So if you got higher gas prices in the interior and you had plenty of charging and people were over their range anxiety, then I think the other companies would not have cut back on their plan.
But none of that's new. What's new is companies like Acura saying, never mind. We're going to go back to hybrids. We're going to start burning gas again because the charger network is not filling out, because we're not, even if we build these in the US, we're not likely to get the $7,500 credit for our buyers. We're not likely to get any battery production credits. I assume that's also slated for being categorized as waste. Or fraud. It's probably going to be fraud. Everything's fraud nowadays. It's like gluten. I don't know what it is. I just know I don't like it. If I don't like it, it's fraud. So we're seeing a lot of this.
My guess is that with regard to the IRA, we have no idea at this point. Based on what I'm hearing, is that we probably lose the $7,500 discount or most of the $7,500 discount. I'm guessing it's January 1 of next year because it's just going to take that long to get it through Congress, and they will take into consideration, the, what do you want to call it, the real market and dealing with the market's anticipation, et cetera. So I'm betting on January 1 as when that 7,500 goes away. And I don't think it's going to impact Tesla because of FSD is going to jam the sales up like crazy. With regard to the rest of the IRA, I don't think they're going to eliminate the battery. I think there's a very small chance, because what I'm hearing from Washington right now is that they do get the strategic necessity of certain manufacturing processes being in the United States, that this is a high priority, and that batteries and the materials that go into batteries would be very high on that strategic list.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. hopefully not worst. We do a good job. I swear we put work into it. I hope it shows. Like, subscribe, please subscribe. Trying to hit 100,000 this year. Once I hit 100,000, I will stop begging. That is my promise to you. Everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.